A comercial pilot broke airline. Protocol to help a pregnant woman jude. Miss her flight when she went into. Labora 30,000 pies Captain Reed handled. The emergency we killed us up to. Leaves the next day F-16 fighter jets. Intercepted his aircraft mid-flight. Hi everyone, welcome to Tales Unbound. Let's get started. Captain Reed was settling into his regular morning flight when his radio crackled with military precision. Commercial flight on heading 020. Identify yourself immediately Reed. Looked out his left window and nearly lost his composure an F-16 fighter jet. Was flying formation with his Boeing 737. Closer knocked to see the pilot's helmet. Second F-16 appeared on his right wing. Moments later, 24 hours earlier, Reed then facing a very different kind of emergency de got agent at the prush. In with a problem Captain Había. Passenger situation woman Miss Her. Connection desperately needs to get to. Phoenix is pregnant her husbands. Military annual flights are cancelled. For 2 days Reed looked through the cockpit window and saw a young woman at. The got clearly distressed and very pregnant. She was holding Papa's hand. Seemed desperate how pregnant. Reed asked. Very is worried about flying. This that about say us to get home. Reed's first officer Tom looked up from his checklist. We're a capacity captain. Not a single empty seat, but Reed was already thinking about the observer seat. Technically for airline inspectors and federal marshals, definitely not for passengers, definitely against company. Police. He talked about his own wife about the panic when she began into early labor. While he was flying cargo routes in bad weather years ago, summer rules existed to be broken at the right moment. Bring her precedent use like that the first rule broke the woman who entered his cockpit was na Medellina. Vasquez exhausted grateful holding a doctor's note clearing her to fly. Captain, I can't thank you no my. Usman is on emergency leave from Luke. Air Force base and if you don't get home. Tonight her voice cracks slightly. Don't worry about it, Reed helping. Her settle into the jump set sometimes. Relations take a backseat to doing. That's right. A commercial pilot broke airline. Protocol to help a pregnant woman jude. Miss her flight when she went into. Labora 30,000 pies Captain Reed handled. The emergency we killed that's up to. Leaves the next day F-16 fighter jets. Intercepted his aircraft mid-flight. Hi everyone, welcome to Tales Unbound. Let's get started. Captain Reed was settling into his regular morning flight when his radio crackled with military precision. Commercial flight on heading 020. Identify yourself immediately Reed. Looked out his left window and nearly lost his composure an F-16 fighter jet. Was flying formation with his Boeing 737. Closer knocked to see the pilot's helmet. Second F-16 appeared on his right wing. Moments later, 24 hours earlier, Reed then facing a very different kind of emergency de got agent at the prush. In with a problem Captain Había. Passenger situation woman Miss Her. Connection desperately needs to get to. Phoenix is pregnant her husbands. Military annual flights are cancelled. For 2 days, Reed looked through the cockpit window and saw a young woman at. The got clearly distressed and very pregnant. She was holding Papa's hand. Seemed desperate how pregnant. Reed asked. Very is worried about flying. This that about say us to get home. Reed's first officer Tom looked up from his checklist. We're a capacity captain. Not a single empty seat, but Reed was already thinking about the observer seat. Technically for airline inspectors and federal marshals, definitely not for passengers, definitely against company. Police. He talked about his own wife about the panic when she began into early labor. While he was flying cargo routes in bad weather years ago, summer rules existed to be broken at the right moment. Bring her a precedent use like that the first rule broke the woman who entered his cockpit was na Medellina. Vasquez exhausted grateful holding a doctor's note clearing her to fly. Captain, I can't thank you no my. Usman is on emergency leave from Luke. Air Force base and if you don't get home. Tonight her voice cracks slightly. Don't worry about it, Reed helping. Her settle into the jump set sometimes. Relations take a backseat to doing. That's right. Va comercial pilot broke airline. Protocol to help a pregnant woman jude. Miss her flight when she went into. Lavora 30,000 pies Capitán Reed handled. The emergency was killed as up to. Leaves the next day F-16 fighter jets. Intercepted his aircraft mid-flight. Hi everyone, welcome to Tales Unbound. Let's get started. Captain Reed was settling into his regular morning flight when his radio crackled with military precision. Commercial flight on heading 020. Identified yourself immediately, Reed. Looked out his left window and nearly lost his composure an F-16 fighter jet. Was flying formation with his Boeing 737. Close enough to see the pilot's helmet. Second F-16 appeared on his right wing. Moments later, 24 hours earlier, Reed had been facing a very different kind of emergency de gate agent de produce. In with a problem Captain Había. Passenger situation woman Miss Her. Connection desperate needs to get to. Phoenix is pregnant her husbands. Military and flights are cancelled. For 2 days Reed looked through the cockpit window and saw a young woman at. The gate clearly distressed and very pregnant. She was holding papers and seemed desperate. How pregnant? Reed asked very worried about flying. This that about say us to get home. Reed's first officer Tom looked up from his checklist. Guire a capacity captain. Not a single empty seat battery was. Already thinking about the observer seat. Technically for airline inspectors and federal marshals, definitely not for passengers, definitely against company. Police. A thought about his own wife about the panic when she began into early labor. While it was flying cargo routes in bad weather years ago, some rules existed to be broken at the right moment. Bring her a precedent use like that the first rule broke the woman who entered his cockpit was na Medelena. Vasquez exhausted grateful holding a doctor's note clearing her to fly. Captain, I can't thank you enough, my husband is on emergency leave from Luke. Air Force base and if you don't get home. Tonight her voice cracks slightly. Don't worry about it, Reyes is helping. He settled into the jump sea sometimes. Relations take a backseat to doing. That's right. Elegan and a manito smile through her. Where my husband says that to is aircraft maintenance on F-16 is always. Talks about pilots who know when to follow rules and when to follow their instincts. Reed nadie feeling that familiar tag. Always got around military aviation de. Grown up wanting to fly fighters but college loans and family responsibilities had led him to comercial aviation instead de never. Regretted but always respected. Tose who served but read no idea. That within 24 hours that respect good. We returned in guase de never imagined. The takeoff was modelena seemed comfortable catching skin. Questions about the instruments or commenting on the lights below she mentioned how her husband had taught her about aviation, how a mantande engines that power some of the air forces most advanced aircraft they were. 40 minutes into the flight when everything changed. Captain Eleyanenas voice was tight with sudden pain. Something's wrong. Returned to see Elena gripping the armrest. Her face palean strand. This wasn't ordinary. Pregnancy discomfort. Her breathing was becoming rapid and shallow. Tom get the flight attendants up here medical emergency. Elena double over with another contraction. They use started but they restaurant really strong. Say looked up at her with fear in her eyes. Baby wasn't supposed to come for 3 more weeks. Reed's training kicked in the handle. Medical emergencies before but nevera. Chill vert at 35,000 pies his hands. Worked the radio while his mind raced through options. Phoenix approached flight 447 declaring medical emergency requesting immediate diversion to nearest suitable airport. Flight 447 nearest airport is Flagstaff. Runway 21 winds light and variable. Medical personnel standing by the flight. Attendants arrive with a medical kit, along with a passenger who identified herself as a registered nurse. Reed focused on flying while the medical team assessed Elena a bump of turbulence. Guilty the plane. Elena cried out. Captain, the nurse called her voice. Urgent, this baby is coming now. We're not going to make it to any airport. Reed felt his heart rate spike but his voice remained steady on the radio. Phoenix approached viet Bais Guiave. Imminent chivers on board requesting priority handling and ambulance on standby. Copy that. Flight 447 you cleared. Direct Phoenix descend and Mantan. Flight level 280 emergency services will be standing by. Red's hands moved across the controls with practice precision, but his mind was spinning one life out. The come to lives and they were both depending on his ability to manage this crisis. All her steady at all Tom. Hands slick with sweat we were delivering a baby a 35,000 pies. The next 20 minutes tested every skill redad. Developed in 18 years of flying out. Tom Antan smooth flight while coordinating with air traffic control, managing radio communications with medical personnel on the ground and keeping the cabin full of nervous passengers calm while a woman gave birth in his cockpit. One more push. Honey, the nurse in Kerry can see the head. Reed made minute adjustments to the go-to pilot, ensuring the smoothest possible read every bit of turbulence, every slight course correction, every radio call to be perfectly llanena. Was counting in this here. The nurse announced a soft cry broke through the static of the radio. The baby was here. Reed felt tears in his eyes as the sound of new life filled his cockpit. Flight 447, how are we doing up there? Came the voice from air traffic control. Fix approach. Reed's voice was sick. With emotion, baby delivered successfully. Motor and shield appear stable. Requesting immediate landing clearance. Flight 447 clear for approach runway 8. Right fire and rescue standing by and Captain is work up there the landing. At Phoenix Sky Harbor was one of the smoothest of rescuers day. Taxi to the gate paramedics boarded. The aircraft leyena was alert and holding her baby looking exhausted but radiant captain she said as the medical team prepared to take her to the hospital. I don't know how to thank you. You saved both our lives today. You did the hard work, rarely used, through the plane as Elena was wheeled off. The aircraft's chica jet back my husband is going to want to meet you, James. Miche aircraft maintenance is going to be so grateful for what you did. Red Wab would be thinking that was probably the last they hear about the whole incident. There would be paperwork, maybe some recognition from the aerolínea. But these emergency situations usually fading to use another story pilots. Told over coffee had no idea that technical Sergeant James Miche was already making phone calls that would change everything. The next morning Red was flying his regular route from Phoenix back to Denver. Flight 226 routine morning departure, mostly business travelers heading to early meetings. Red was settling into Cruise Alto when his radio crackled with an unfamiliar voice. Comercial flight on heading 020. Identify yourself immediately. That wasn't air traffic control. The voice carried military precision that mother receipt abstrate in his head. This is American 226 on route Denver. Flight level 350. American 226, you are ordered to Mantan. Present heading and altitude or not. Deviate from course. Reed looked out his left window and nearly lost his composure. An F-16 fighter jet was flying for Machine with his Boeing 737 close and no dare. Cold see the pilot's helmet the slick gray aircraft moved with predatory grace. Its presence both beautiful and intimidating. A second F-16 appeared on his right wing. Moments later, Tom's first officer was staring out the window in amazement. What the hell is going on? Before he recalled and saw the radio crackled again with a different voice. This one warmer but still carrying authority. American 226, this is Luke Air Force Base. We have something important to tell you. Red Stroke Gwenda y Luke Air Force Base were llena sus vangues. Station Captain Hosen Kameniu. Voice filled with emotion. This is Technical Sergeant James Miche. Yesterday you delivered my son a 35,000. FT wanted to thank you personally. The pieces clicked together in reds. Mine Elena's husband aderang this. The United States Air Force was escorting his commercial flight as a gesture of gratitude. Sergeant Michelisis, incredible what you did nito. Captain, what you did yesterday went beyond duty. You saved my wife and my boy. When they needed help most in the air. Force we take care of our own and after. Yesterday you were one of ours. The F-16 Piloto on res left wing came. On the radio, Captain Reed, Major Rodriguez Sergeant Michel told us about your flying yesterday managing an emergency vert guy maintaining safe flight operations under pressure. That some impressive piloting Sir Reed looked out at the sleek fighter heads. Flanking his airliner test pilots flew some of the most advanced aircraft in the world. Reed felt worth by the yesterday were making tanju major. It was my crew and the passengers who made it work. Native captain leadership starts at the top. You kept everyone calm and got that planet down safe while delivering a baby that's exceptional. Flying in Jones' book, the escort continued for another 10 minutes. The F-16 is maintaining perfect formation with rays much lower. Airliner in the cabin beneath. Passengers were pressed against windows, taking photos and videos that could be shared thousands of times within hours. Reed had never felt anything like this. In his 18 years of commercial flying, the respect of military aviators who chose to honor a civilian pilot's emergency response. American 226 we believe in you here. Come Sergeant Mitchell's voice again, but Captain, if you ever near looker. Force base you got an open invitation. Ella nena and the baby want to meet the pilot who brought them safely home. Reed's rotating. How are they doing, Sergeant? Perfect, healthy baby boy. And Captain Ella nena insisted on the name we were calling him Reed James. Mitchell, the boy needs to be named after the man who delivered him safely into this world. Reed turned away slightly, blinking hard. 18 years of flying and no passenger. Manifest had ever meant this much. As the F-16 peeled away in a grass field, climbed an instance Wednesday, named the baby after him a chillborn in. His cockpit would carry his name through, like his radio crackled one final time. Captain Hosen, this is Colonel James Crawford, looker for the base commander. What you did yesterday represents the finest traditions of aviation. When you have a team, we'd like to invite you to visit the base the entire squadron once, to meet the pilot who delivered one of around 2 weeks later. Reed found himself walking through the main gate at looker for the base, carrying flowers for Elena and a small teddy bear for baby. Reed, the base commander, had personally invited him for a ceremony honoring civilian aviation. Him the ceremony was in a hangar filled with F-16s, the same type of aircraft that had escorted Reed's flight to Yanena West. The Reed's baby Reed looking healthy and radiant. Sergeant stood beside them in his dress uniform, beaming with pride. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Crawford addressed the gathered crowd of airmen and their families. Yesterday we honored military aviators who risked their lives in service to our country. Today we honor a civilian pilot who risked his career to save two lives. Reed was presented with a plaque recognizing his exceptional airmanship and humanitarian service. But the moment that mattered most came when a leyena placed baby Reed in his arms. Captain, she said softly, made Reed James Mitchell has got your commander. Pressure and his daddy's love of aviation. Reed looked down at the baby who the van, born in his cockpit, thinking about the chain of events that had started with a simple decision to break airline policy. One broken rule had led to saving 2 lives, which had led to the most meaningful recruiting of his entire career. Sergeant Mitchell approved, extending his hand. Captain, he maintained the engines on those F-16s that escorted you every day. He makes sure military pilots can fly safely. Yesterday you made sure my family stays safe. That means everything. Tomeres shook his hand, understanding that the event accepted into a brotherhood that transcended the difference between military and civilian aviation. Sergeant, it was an honor to help us retour the maintenance hangar, where Sergeant he worked. Was struck by the precision and dedication of the Air Force personnel. These were people who understood our attention to The telco man the difference between life and death whether you were flying a fighter jet or delivering a baby. You know Captain Reed said, as a watch mechanic servicing gun. F-16, what you did yesterday so eduese. Something important good flying is good. Flying whether you're wearing a uniform or not. Reed watched the methodical work of the maintenance crew thinking about the perils between their dedication and his own safe flight operations Kenneth Crawford. Join them carrying a small presentation box Captain Hosen we don't recruit commercial pilots but we remember the ones who show what service really looks like a handy folded American flag and a from certificate. To Captain Reed Hosen for delivering more than passengers you delivered up. Life and a reminder that aviation is about serving others. Reed accepted the flag with hands that weren't kit steady Kennedy's hands. More than you know. Captain, you earned what you did up. That's what we call flying with honor. 6 months later, Reed was still flying commercial routes, but something that Chan the airline had not only declined to discipline him for breaking policy they featured his story in their safety training program as an example of crew resource management under extreme pressure but the real change was in how Reed his every pre-flight check every passenger interaction every routine. Flight carried the weight of knowing that aviation was about more than transportation, it was about being ready. When people needed you most the photos, Elena sent every month so little. Reed ringing to a happy healthy baby. Each picture included a note thanking Captain Reed for the safe delivery that had brought their family together. On quiet mornings when Reed was cruising at altitude the Gulf sometimes see military aircraft in the distance and remember the day F-16 escorted his airliner. They learned that the most important moments in aviation weren't about the sophistication of your aircraft or the complexity of your route. They were about the moment when regulation stepped aside for humanity. When you made the choice to help someone who needed it and when doing the right thing led to something extraordinary. Reed's logbook now included an entry that would forever stand out among thousands of routine flights. Emergency delivery motor and chill safe one pilot honored by the United States Air Force because that what Reed had learned from his encounter with the military service wasn't about the uniform you wore or the aircraft you flew with, about being the person who saw it up when others needed help, whether that was a pregnant woman in Labor Gradfield, Air Force family who wanted to say thank you the J.O. to the road to the hospital still sat on baby Reed's shelf, a reminder that sometimes the biggest changes in life started with the smallest acts of kindness and somewhere over the American Southwest a pilot who once broke protocol to save to lives now flew with something more than experience, a flew with purpose. Love this story, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Don't forget to check out the video currently on your screen. You won't want to miss it. See you in the next one.